Galveston, Texas is a major cruise ship hub that vacationers travel to. With this being a popular cruise port, many questions arise like how do I get from Houston to Galveston? Or tips on where to park, eat, stay, or what activities there are in Galveston Island. In this video, we will take a look at some of the most frequently asked questions when traveling to Galveston for an upcoming cruise. We are going to start with the Houston Airport near Galveston, Texas. Galveston is an island located about an hour from Houston. There are two major airports, George Bush Intercontinental, or IAH, and William P. Hobby Airport, or HOU. George Bush Airport is about an hour and a half or 70 miles from Galveston, whereas William P. Hobby is 50 minutes, approximately 42 miles from Galveston. Houston is a major city, so traffic can play a major role in those times. Both airports offer domestic and international flights, and George Bush is also known as Bush Airport, and Hobby Airport is also known as Hobby Airport. Both airports have their own pros and cons. Starting off with Bush, the pros of flying into this airport is that they offer a large number of airlines that fly into Bush, approximately 28 different airlines. For Hobby, their pros are that it is a smaller airport and therefore it's easier to navigate and closer to Galveston. Now for the cons, Bush is a much larger airport, it can be tricky to navigate, and it's also been under construction and still is under construction as of April 2024. For Hobby, there is a limited number of airlines flying into this airport, so they may not use your preferred airline company. Let's take a look at the Bush Intercontinental Airport. This is the Marriott Hotel connected to the Bush Airport. There are several other hotels located within a short distance to the airport, but this Marriott Hotel is the closest. There are 5 terminals at the airport and a Skyway tram that provides transportation between terminals while inside security. The total travel time on the tram from Terminal A to Terminal D/E is 4 minutes and 15 seconds. They also offer a subway train underground with transportation between terminals outside of security. The underground subway train will also transport you to the airport Marriott. Bush also has a centrally located rental car center just a few miles away from the airport that has all the standard rental car companies. Shuttles do pick up from the airport terminals, which will bring you to the rental car center. Let's head towards South Houston to the Hobby Airport. And while we're heading there, let's talk a little bit about Houston. Houston is a great city to venture to for nightlife, art, and food. Houston is also known as Space City, since it's a major hub for the NASA space program. It's home to the Johnson Space Center, which is a popular tourist destination. Let's enter the Hobby Airport, which is located on the south side of Houston. There is only one terminal at this airport, and it does not have a hotel directly connected to it. But there are numerous hotels within a close distance to the airport. Hobby also has several rental car companies to rent from if you plan on driving to Galveston. I'll leave a link to the Houston airports, which has some helpful information that may be useful if you are flying into one of the two airports. The website is called fly2houston.com. As you exit the Hobby Airport, you'll want to take I-45 South, which will lead you to Galveston, Texas. Here is an aerial map showing the two different airports and Galveston. Galveston is a barrier island off the coast of southeast Texas. Galveston was once the second richest city in the United States until a Category 4 hurricane devastated the island back in 1900. Due to the 1900 hurricane, the infamous Galveston seawall was built, which took approximately 8 years to build, and it now protects the island. According to the Port of Galveston, the Galveston Port is the fourth busiest port in North America, serving over 1.7 million cruise passengers a year. If you flew into Houston, there are a few different ways you can get to the Galveston Cruise Terminal. So let's talk about that. First one is the cruise line shuttle. Most cruise lines have shuttle services to and from the terminals, and if traveling to the terminal, the pickup location is usually at the local airports. These services are typically an additional charge, so check with your cruise line to verify and also reserve before your cruise. One tip is if you're flying in the day before, try and find a hotel near the airport that offers free shuttle services to and from the airport. Another way to get to Galveston is a rental car. If you plan to return your rental car in Galveston, there is only one rental car service on the island, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Check with the Galveston Enterprise Rent-A-Car to see if they offer a shuttle service to the cruise terminal. The third option is a rideshare service such as Lyft or Uber. Check out Fly to Houston webpage for details on where rideshare services pick you up from the Houston or Hobby Airport. And lastly is a private shuttle service. Houston has several private shuttle services that will transport you from Houston to the Galveston terminals. As you exit I-45 heading towards Galveston, you'll cross over into the island using the Galveston Causeway. On the left here, you'll see the Galveston Cruise Terminals, Pier 25 and Pier 28. This area does get slightly congested on cruise days, so be sure to allow additional time to account for that traffic. Galveston has 3 different cruise terminals. You may also hear them called Piers as well. This is an aerial view of Galveston Island showing the cruise terminals. The 3 terminals are Pier 28, Pier 25, and lastly Pier 10. Let's take a closer look at the cruise terminals themselves. On the left is Pier 28 or Terminal 2. It was mainly designed for Royal's Freedom class, but it is also serviced by other cruise line companies, such as Disney. In the middle is Terminal 1 or Pier 25, which services Carnival Cruise Lines. Down the street, you'll find the newest cruise terminal in Galveston, known as Terminal 3 or Pier 10. The new terminal accommodates the larger Oasis-class ships for Royal Caribbean. This is Pier 28 or Terminal 2. It's a smaller cruise terminal in comparison to the others. When you drive up to the cruise terminal, they'll have porters there ready to take your luggage. And this is Pier 25 or Terminal 1. This terminal exclusively services Carnival Cruise Lines, and directly across the street is one of the parking garages. last time we were at this terminal, we noticed a sign for Scoot-Around mobility equipment. This company offers a variety of wheelchair and scooter rentals for the Port of Galveston. Now that we know where the ports are, let's take a look at the cruise parking options. The Port of Galveston has an express parking lot, which you can see here. It's located directly next to Pier 25. This parking lot is uncovered and not elevated. On Google, it has 4.8 stars and 521 reviews. The Port of Galveston also has a parking garage directly across the street from Pier 28. They call this the Port of Galveston S&P Cruise Parking Garage. It has 4.9 stars and 647 Google reviews. It is elevated and covered with the exception of the top level. Next is the indoor cruise parking location, which has 4.8 stars and 195 Google reviews. This parking lot is slightly further from the cruise terminals, but it's a short 4-minute drive to Piers 28 and 25 and a 7-minute drive to Pier 10. They have covered parking, which is elevated, and offer shuttle pickup services to and from the cruise terminals. They also have outdoor parking and offer spaces for electric vehicles. This is the Easy Cruise parking lot with 4.9 stars and 6,000 Google reviews. This is our normal parking lot we choose to park at when we cruise out of Galveston. We usually drop our luggage off with the porters, park, and walk over the cruise terminal. It's a short 5 to 10 minute walk. They do have elevated parking options in the front parking lots, covered, uncovered, shuttle services, and electric vehicle parking. This is the Galveston Park and Cruise location. On Google, it has 4.4 stars and 132 reviews. This parking area is located directly across from Pier 28 and 25. Now that we've looked at several parking options, let's take a look at some of the restaurants on the island. Next to Terminal 25 and 28, there's a location called Pier 21, which has several dining options. This area is within walking distance from the cruise terminals and a Starbucks and Jimmy John's just across the street. Pier 21 also offers chartered boat excursions. Willie G's Seafood and Steaks is located in Pier 21. They have a great selection of seafood dishes and an amazing porch with outdoor dining. There are several small cafes scattered throughout Galveston that are great to pop into for a small bite to eat or a cup of coffee. This one is called Red Light Coffee Roasters. We are moving on to the beach side or seawall side of Galveston, where you can find many restaurants and bars. Many of these restaurants we're going to look at have outdoor dining that look out on the beach. This restaurant is Miller's Seawall Grill, which has 4.6 stars and 7,000 Google reviews. As we continue driving down the seawall, we'll run into Fish Tell's Restaurant, which has 4 stars and 6,000 Google reviews. The next restaurant is called The Spot. This is a fairly popular location for visitors to the island. This restaurant has 4.3 stars and 14,000 Google reviews. If you're walking along the seawall, you may notice this giant crab. This place is called Guido's. Guido's is a staple on Galveston Island. This restaurant first opened in 1911. They offer fresh seafood such as Gulf shrimp, oysters, and fish. Those are just a few dining options in Galveston. There are several more honorable mentions and favorites on the island, such as Landry's Seafood, Bubba Gump's, Little Daddy's Gumbo Bar, Black Pearl, Rudy and Paco's, and Katie's Seafood. Now that we have a full tummy, let's take a look at some of the hotel accommodations around the island. First up is the Tremont House. The Tremont Hotel opened in 1839, which was the same year Galveston was founded. The Tremont Hotel has been through its ups and downs through a devastating fire in the hurricane of 1900. In 1981, it was transformed into Third Tremont House and stands where it is today. The Tremont House has a rooftop bar with amazing views, but it is currently under renovation as of 2024. On Google, it has 4.6 stars and nearly 2,000 reviews. On the beach side of Galveston, there are many hotels to choose from. This is the Doubletree by Hilton with 3.8 stars and 1,900 Google reviews. This is the historic beachfront hotel known as Hotel Galvez, which opened in 1911 as the first fireproof hotel. It's a AAA Diamond Plus property. It has 4.2 stars rated on Google. Per the Hotel Galvez website, it welcomed 40,000 guests in 1918 at a daily rate of $2. And in 1937, President Franklin D. Roosevelt made the Hotel Galvez his official summer White House. Continuing on down the seawall, this is the Holiday Inn Express and Suites with 4.0 stars and 677 Google reviews. The next hotel is the Residence Inn by Marriott. This is a newly built hotel and opened in 2024. Next is the Home2 Suites. This is beachfront, and on Google it has 3.8 stars and 238 Google reviews. Another beachfront hotel is the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, and on Google it has 4.2 stars and 4,000 Google reviews. Next to the Holiday Inn is the San Luis Resort and Spa. On Google it has 4.4 stars and 9,000 Google reviews. This resort does have a great spa, so if you're looking to start your vacation early, I'd check it out. Galveston Island has a lot of activities to partake in. First off, starting with the Galveston Strand. The Strand is within walking distance from the cruise terminals and has shopping, antiques, restaurants, and bars. Let's take a look at some more things to do in Galveston. We've already talked about the Galveston Strand. There is a railroad museum on the island if you're interested in that, and the seawall and beaches on Galveston are a big hit. They also offer boat tours such as sunset, dolphin, fishing, and jet boats. And Galveston is interwoven with a plethora of history. They have many tours available such as ghost tours and tours of the infamous mansions around the island. There is a Schlitterbahn water park and an attraction called Moody Gardens on the island, which has an aquarium and rainforest. If you're visiting Galveston during Christmas, I highly recommend going to Moody Gardens as it's beautifully decorated during this time of year. Another popular place to visit is the Galveston Pleasure Pier on the beach side, where they have rides and restaurants. And there's also an offshore drilling rig museum near Pier 21. This is the seawall looking towards the beach. They do have a few shops scattered throughout the seawall where you can go in and find some Galveston souvenirs. In the background here, you can see Pleasure Pier. In addition to restaurants, they have a few attractions, such as the Ferris wheel, the drop tower, a small roller coaster, and a carousel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it helps answer some questions you may have when you're traveling to Galveston for your upcoming cruise. If you liked the video, please subscribe and like, and leave some comments down below if you have some tips for Galveston.